What's going on, everybody? Just be your boy,
DJ Anonymous.
DJ Anonymous, with another episode of Sports Biz Music, the podcast, episode 208. And I know it's been a while, but I'm trying to be consistent with the show. But anyways, on today's show, I got a co-worker of mine, a lady that, I just met, maybe 3-4 months ago. And I wanted her to be on the show. It's been, just try to, get all this information from her. And but yeah, her name is Maria Rivas. How you doing?
How you doing? How's that going? How's it going?
Good. Before we go into the questions and the conversation and everything, and you did a lot, you still doing a lot. Kind of introduce yourself to the listeners.
Well, my name is Maria Rivas. I started in the business world when I was 24.
Mm-hmm.
I got into the alcohol business.
Right.
I rotated from owning a liquor store to owning a small bar, and then owning my nightclub. That I had a nightclub with live entertainment rights in Broward County, and I ran and operated that for a good 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and I sold it back in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I sold it then, and then after that, I've been into a few more other business ventures, and leading to what I do now, which is I do investments, financial investments, and life insurance and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've ventured into a few different businesses, and I've matured.
Right. So you always been an entrepreneur.
Always, my whole life, yeah, since I started early on.
So my first question is what was like that time period, like when you decided that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I was young, and I was working. I had worked at the Hilton. I had worked at Motorola. I had worked at AT&T. I had worked into all those companies. I was always looking for money.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I ran into a company, I realized there's no money.
Mm.
There's never enough money for what you really want to do in life.
Right.
I was making, back then it was like, $15, $18, $20, which was good money.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, damn, she's making good money. But no, it wasn't good money because I had, my kids.
Right.
I had my rent payments. Still had insurance, the phones, the groceries. It just wasn't enough. So I was, sitting there brainstorming, be like, I own my own business, but what do I like to do?
Right.
I used to like to party. My thing was to party, to go out. I used to like to hang out, be in the ambiance. I liked it. It just always thrilled me.
Mm.
So I started doing research. How can I get into that entertainment world?
Right.
And to get into the entertainment world, I had to get into the alcohol business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I ventured off. By coincidence, how you sit there brainstorming. I was at the beach one day, and sitting here by Las Olas, and I was sitting at the bar having a Corona. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there, and a guy walked up to me. It's an old white guy. Right. Jerry Milton. God bless him right now. He's dead. Mm-hmm. I was sitting there, and he said, how you doing, young lady? And I was like, what the hell is this man doing talking to me? So he asked me how I was doing, and I told him fine. And he just saw me. I was like, and you know how you get in deep thought? Because you're complacent. You're not happy.
Right.
I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't making enough money. It was upsetting. It was giving me anxiety because I couldn't cover all the bills sometimes. And if I wanted to buy me something, I could never buy me nothing because I never had $1 for it. It wasn't going past the bills and the kids.
Right.
So I told him that, and then he was like, he was like, listen, I own the bar in Pompano.
Okay.
He said, I own that club, the bar in Pompano. He said, but I'm getting ready to, he said, I'm not even selling it. He said, I'm just going to close it down. He said, I got a liquor license for sale. I said, liquor license for sale? I said, what am I going to do with a liquor license? He said, well, you said you want to, have your own business. He said, I'm going to sell you the license. And I said, damn, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get this license?
Right.
Well, little to me, I didn't know, but he guided me along the way a little bit, because you need somebody to mentor you. You don't know everything,
True.
And sometimes our families don't know nothing.
True.
Our local friends don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? No one has that knowledge and know-how to tell you what you really want to know, what you need to know to get you to that next step, to get you to that next level.
Right.
So he told me, I'll sell you the liquor license. He said, but a liquor license is like real estate. He said, I'll sign it over to you. He said, you go finance it and go pay me my money. And I was like, what? You could do that? And it's still the same story to today. You could still finance a liquor license. But I didn't know that back then. I thought you had to have, because the stories were always on the street, like, you got to have the cash.
Yeah.
You got to have, 100 G's. You got to have, when you tell me those kind of stories, it deters you because you be like, listen, my credit's not even good. But it don't even matter if you got good credit or not with this game. True. I didn't know that. He let me know that because I didn't have credit. My credit score back then was like 500 or something. It wasn't, I couldn't get nothing. I couldn't get a Capital One card.
Wow.
But I tell you like that, So I went with him. To Coconut Creek, which is the Office of Professional Regulation, Business Professional Regulation. They're the ones that handle all the alcohol and the venues, any party you want to turn out, anything you want to do with that type of entrepreneurship, they handle it. Restaurant, anything you want to open. So I went with him over there. They have a program. You know what I'm saying? They have a program which, any listener that wants to, I guess open up or whatever, you hit me up and I'll guide you through the process, to the paperwork. Right. It's more the difficulty listening to the story than what actually doing it. You get deterred because you don't know. Right. Knowledge is power. So he took me over there. We did the paperwork. We filled out the forms. He transferred the license to my name. I went to a broker. The broker gave me 80 G's. He wanted 69,000. I gave him a 69,000. I kept the rest. I opened up a liquor store. You know what I'm saying? And then I walked into a plaza. They wanted, I had the plaza on Oakland Park at 441 here in Broward County. It was next to a Blockbuster. I went in there. I looked. I called the owner to the plaza. They're like, we want 2,400. You have to have the first and last. And I was like, damn, I got it. Once you get a liquor license in your name and you're approved, you can get credit with the liquor companies.
So it's kind of like business.
Yeah, that's how I started. Because I started with a story. I started with a dream, and the dream flourished and went on and on and on. From there, I did the liquor store thing for a couple of years, and it made money to make a living, but it didn't make that money that I wanted. I still hadn't reached the potential of that money that I wanted. So talking to more people and people in the industry of alcohol, they told me, listen, you got to go bar. You got to go nightclub. But I had to take baby steps because I couldn't afford a nightclub back then. So then from there, I converted the liquor store into a bar. And I started throwing parties, and I would show the boxing events, and my money was growing.
Right.
The money was growing. It happened to be that the liquor license it rose. The value went from 100,000 to 300,000. It skyrocketed. I had people call me and talk about they wanted to buy it. So what I did, I took another loan out on. I took another loan on it, and I did the bar. After I did the bar, I ran that for about 4 years. I sold it. And then I got an opportunity to open up Cafe 54 on Broward. And that used to be, I forgot the name of it. It was, I know that they said Trina and them or whatever used to be there back in the days. Yeah. A lot of artists. And when I had it and owned it, I had a lot of artists and stuff there, a lot of rappers and I threw a lot of parties. But yeah, I went through steps, and I started, like I said, it's more what your goal is, what you want to do, what's your ambition and how hard you want to work towards your goal. Because I didn't get to enjoy things and party, like I wanted to, because it became a lot of work. But I was able to raise my kids, put them to private school. Buy me a nice vehicle, able to take nice trips, But at first it was just the changes.
So to go back to the liquor license real quick, you was telling me it was worth $100,000 and it went up.
And then it skyrocketed.
So it's basically like real
property, yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
What it went up because of like your
the value.
success.
It was it's like everything. It's with the demand.
Okay.
They don't have, it doesn't. It's not like a house. The house is all over the place. Liquor license, they keep them under control. So they don't create them every year.
Right.
So there's some years that they don't create liquor license. So you have to wait for someone in the establishment to sell their license. in order for you to be able to have one. And that in that end, you have to know brokers, people that are in that industry that are selling. Which I still know a lot of brokers. I still know people like if someone wants to open up that type of business, still got the connects to get you a Broward County or a day liquor license or something like that if you want to open up a bar or a restaurant or a business like that, an entertainment business.
So even if I wanted to do like a food truck, I still need like a.
You don't need a liquor license for a food truck because that's a mobile business.
Okay.
There's different licenses for everything that you want to do. Because you got your bar, nightclub license type thing. That's one license. Then you got your package store license, and then you got your mobile licenses, and then you got your event license. If you want to throw an event, like if you want to throw an event and rent like a big ass field, and have liquor sold there. Right. You got to go to that department. You got to go sign. You got to pay for your permit. And you got to pay to be able to do that event.
Okay.
So everything has a different license. They're all, you got a members only license. If you want to open up a fraternity and you want to be able to sell alcohol within your fraternity, within your club, there's a license for that. That's, I think, an 11C license. Yeah. But the sky's the limit to what you could have, what you could do.
So like, for someone who's trying to open up like a club or a restaurant, because nowadays, it's 2024. You got social media. Everyone just opening up different businesses. You see some that's been successful. You seen some that's been detoured, especially with COVID and everything. But like for someone who's trying to open up, I want to say like a club, trying to maintain it. What type of advice would you give them to like have longevity?
A lot of social media marketing, a lot of marketing. You have to consistently stay on it. Right. You can't take your foot off of it. It's your business becomes your life. Right. People be like, "Oh my God, I want to run my own business because I want to be carefree." No, you don't. You're not carefree. If you think that job is enslaving you, that business is gonna put a ball and chain on you like you have no idea. You never imagine it. That's why I know that I worked hard and I made some money and I made some moves back in the days, but it was so much stress. It was so much go. You have to have the adrenaline to go. You have to have the drive because if you go in, a lot of people open up those type of businesses and they fail. Right. You have a lot of failures. You have a lot of failures because the drive is not there. You got partnerships that fall apart that create obstacles in your business. And that makes it fall apart because everybody doesn't want to work anymore. Right. You got to work. You got to work whether you want to or, I never stopped working. I had my last daughter during my nightclub days. I went and gave birth 2 days later. I was back at the club. Wow. I had to, because I had the mortgage to the club was, $11,000 a month. The light bill was $2,500 a month, and then I had all the security guards. Everybody had to make sure you paid, and everybody had to get paid, and you got to be responsible with that. There was just no day, I don't owe nobody money, thank God. I left there, my hands clean. I paid everybody, paid all my debtors, all, everybody that I borrowed money from, everybody that was along the way that helped me out. I got paid everybody, but it takes a lot of work to do that, a lot of drive.
Yeah, because I like, for me, even when I was a DJ, having your own business, it's a lot. A lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of organization. It's a lot of communication.
Focus.
You got to stay focused. Like, I tell my wife all the time, when I was heavily into music, and even when I was starting to kind of flirt with like managing artists and stuff like that at the time, I was telling her it's like having kids. It's like having children, and I should tell her, like, when we met, how me and her met, we met at the right time, because if we would have met earlier, we probably wouldn't have that much time with each other, because it was...
Because you on a drive. You gotta go.
You had the club. You basically was in the music industry as well. Yeah. Tell me about like that experience, like on that side, as far as like dealing with different artists and stuff.
When I was dealing with different artists and promoters and stuff, it was difficult because you have to call them. You got to
Right.
follow up. You got to make sure they're going to make your event. You got to be here, 11 o'clock at night. That's when, you start,
Right.
So that right there was a challenge in itself, but it's fun. Once everybody comes together, it's like a click.
Right.
Once you got the click and everybody comes together, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because you're like, okay, the artist came, Trina came. What's this other guy? Oh, so many of them came through. I remember Black Dada.
Yeah, Black Dada. Yeah.
When he came, he was always at my club. Who's those guys that were popular back then? It was a bunch of local artists. Briscoe came.
Briscoe, Iceberg, Grind Mode.
Grind Mode, yeah, I had always Grind Mode there too. So it was a lot of them that were there, and when they came and they showed up, and the crowd was live and everything was going, it was nice. It was nice.
So, like, how do you? So, you been in the music industry, like that was probably what, like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
How do you feel? Because I like to ask people this that's been in the music industry. How do you feel about the music industry now as a whole?
I think the music industry is good, but I think it's for you,
Right.
it's for the youth, it's for your listeners. I think I think certain businesses are made for the youth. You just have to have the stability, the mental stability, and the focus and the drive, because you could do it.
Right.
I believe that because I got blessed at the early ages of my life. When I was your age, I was just, things were just flowing. And the more I focused on, the more it came to me. It just came, it just kept flowing towards me. And I wish I were 30 years old again,
Yeah.
I wish I was 30 years old again. I don't have, it's not that I couldn't open up another business. I could open up another business any day, because I left those doors, I didn't leave those doors chaotic. I paid all my taxes, because when you're in that kind of business, you got to pay your taxes every 30 days, because you're messing with ATF. ATF will come to your business and be like, hey, where's our money? Because they know that you're buying alcohol, because you're buying alcohol basically from the government.
Right.
Because they could blacklist you. They know your business. They know how much money you're generating. They know it. I thought I was like, oh, they ain't gonna know. No, they know everything. You'd be surprised with it. They know all your receipts and all your paperwork before you get in your hand. Yeah. But as long as you follow the game,
Right.
as long as you give them their portion, you gotta give the government their portion. As long as you give them their portion, you ain't gonna have a problem.
Right.
You're not gonna have a problem. But I believe that the entertainment world, the club world, all that stuff is for you guys, for the youth. It's for the youth. It's for you guys. And when you're young like that, and you got all this energy and you got this youth behind you,
Right.
it's endless. The sky's the limit. It's where you want to be. It's where you want to go.
True.
It's just like all these artists, like Cardi B. Cardi B, when I remember when I first saw her, I was like, that girl can't rap. She can't. But it was her drive.
Yeah, it's a drive. Yeah.
It was like, you could see it when she talks, when she walks. This is what I want to be, regardless of how she says it, and she's there,
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. But see how young they are. When you hear a 50-year-old rap star really coming out, not too many.
Not too many is real.
And
I think the oldest was 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz broke out.
Yeah,
He was
2
like
Chainz.
30. He's still young. He was 35, but rap years, that's kind of old.
yeah, that's old.
But
Yeah. And even entertainment business, believe it or not, that's kind of, that's getting up there, because I'm telling you, I started the doors of opportunities started at 24 for me. And I rode it out to about, the age of 45. And then I called it quits. I called it quits. I didn't shut it down. I sold it.
sold it. So after you sold everything, after you got,
I took a 5-year break
from everything.
from everything, from working, from getting up, from staying up all night, from talking to people. I took a 5-year break. Just Yeah.
Right.
5, because you didn't work your average 9 to 5.
No, I work 7 days a week sometimes,
Yeah.
and I
What you did in 12 months is what people would take 4 years.
4 years.
The,
Yeah.
the amount of hours.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I took people like, oh my God, you're not gonna work. Nah, I'm not working.
But how was that transition? I know it was hard.
No, it was difficult. It was difficult. Even now today, like you said, we're co-workers. I went and got a regular job. You know, like a regular getting to the normal. I got what I call the normal world. Back
Right.
down to like the reality function. You know, a paycheck. I haven't had a paycheck in
Yeah.
years.
Right.
So getting to the paycheck era, you know, that took work. That transition was difficult because you got to come off that cloud 9. You're not boss no more. You know, you're not telling people what to do. I'm not calling everybody and saying, "Hey, I need you to be here at this time because we got to talk business." You know, everything's about money.
Yeah.
Now in this world that I'm in the working world, you're not talking to nobody about any money or anything like that. You're just going to work and doing, you know, working like a little robot, like a little. Like a little robot, you know, you working there, doing it. I'm a part of that. Yeah, that matrix right there, and that matrix, you know, I'm not a pea, I'm just a grain of sand.
Right.
So, like my family, you know, he's been an entrepreneur his whole life. He's been doing this business, you know, forever too. So, and he don't know how to live on a paycheck. You know, I've just gotten adjusted to it. But
Right.
it's still not, if it wasn't for my previous investments that I did with my money, you know, when I sold, I had investments I did and stuff like that, I would have to right now been, you know, I couldn't survive off this.
Right.
You can't pay, you know, a house or you know, I still drive a Benz, you know, I make big payments. My paycheck don't cover that.
Right.
You know, it don't cover my lifestyle.
Right.
It don't cover I take 30 days every 6 months. I still take vacations for 30 days.
Right.
I'm leaving on one now, you know, like in a couple of weeks after this,
Yeah.
I'll be gone. But my regular job doesn't cover what I do. It's what I've had, what I did in the past.
Right.
You know, what I did in the past still is, you know, I'm still gliding on it. Even though it's 10 years later,
Yeah,
I'm still gliding on it. Yeah, I'm still gliding on it. Because that's, you know, those are the moves that I had to make. Those moves are good. If everybody were to, like, focus and try to do, and it takes, I'm going to tell you something. It takes a village.
It does.
You can't just sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to make all the money. I want to do it all by myself on the greed. No. You got to pay you to be the DJ. You need a manager to help you run that bar. You need the head of security there. You need a cook. If you got a kitchen, you need a master cook in the back.
Right.
And all that, you got to share the wealth with everybody as it comes in. I had to gamble sometimes. Sometimes I didn't have money to pay everybody weekly. Because, you know, it would go dry. And I had to negotiate. We're like, okay, we're going to do this event. We're going to have such and such artists here.
Right.
You know, I calculate, you know, from doing all back then it was like, it was MySpace, Facebook. It was, you know, the guys all, you know, the promoters. We had the guys putting the flyers. Flyers were big back then.
Yeah,
we had
very
flyers
big.
all
Yeah,
over
very
the
big.
place. I was hitting every college, every other bar, every other restaurant, location, neighborhoods. We were trying to hit everything. And I would gamble on that, and I would tell everybody, listen, you know, when I make this money, I'm gonna count it all out. We're ready percentages. You know, we're gonna stay together. You know, just to keep everybody, because everybody got to pay their bills.
Right.
If not, people abandon shipping your stuff, and if you can't run a ship, and that was a big ship. My place was like almost 10,000 square feet. That was a big ship.
Sheesh.
So that ship took a lot of people to function, you know, and we made it work.
So let's talk about the I like to say the fun part of the whole conversation, the whole interview, and that's how we met, and that's how we that's one of the first things we talked about was investments. So like first thing first, like everything's an investment, whether it's health, whether it's business or whatnot. But what was like, I guess, like as far as like stocks and bonds and everything, what was like your first time like doing that?
After I got out the business, because while I was in the business, I had no time to think about getting into any type of investments.
Right.
You have to have time to study. You got to read. You got to study. You got to get yourself familiarized with things. And I went and got myself familiarized with my 401ks and my IRAs and my stocks and my annuities. and my investments, like I got right now, financially, I got like all my kids with IULs. I got 3 adult kids, and I got them all with IULs because those kind of investments give you compounded daily interest.
Can you break it down, like even to myself and to the listeners, like what's
Well,
an IUL?
Yeah, an IUL is a life insurance. It's a life insurance. They can consider it a life insurance because if it pays death benefits, but it also has life benefits.
Right.
In the life benefit, and it also invests. So you're making a payment, but you're also making a payment that's going to grow. It's not like we all got to pay car, but like I pay right now full coverage for my car. I don't get nothing for that. I'm paying $4,000 a year, and 4,000, 5,000, almost 5,000 a year for full coverage on a Benz. I don't get nothing for it. Year after year.
Yeah.
I've owned a Benz for 20 years. So, and I don't own the same Benz. I changed them. I got a new one now. But as you change them, you still got to full coverage them, and they're expensive. They're expensive. And I looked at it, it's like I don't get a dime from this. Right. And I've had these cars since the 80s.
Right.
So I'm more financially literate, intelligent, and I try to I've shared my intelligence with my family, my friends, because I got this knack. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I got a knack. Everything that I touch, I do it right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've always, because I just didn't just open up my businesses. I did some research on my businesses. I did the percentages of failure, my outcomes. So when I did those researches, that's what led me to get involved in that. And after doing some more research, it got me into the financial world and the financial literacy because I want to have something when I get old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Older. And now that I'm, wiser, more intelligent, I want my kids to benefit from it. Right. Why let them go struggle? Why let them, fall behind? I want them to be able to borrow money from something, and it doesn't matter if they fell behind on their other bills and their credit's a little messed up. It don't matter about your credit once you have, an investment account.
Right. You
can go pull it. So that's what we're doing right now. Right now, I got my son. Like on a $300,000 policy. He's making the payments. In 10 years, 20 years, he should have at least $500,000 to pull out, with no credit, So if he messes up and he doesn't make his car payments on time or his credit card payments on time, he becomes delinquent on all kinds of stuff and the credit drops that you need it for a bank. You need it for a lender, even a hard money lender. I've dealt with them before. They want to see some type of credit, So with this, in this format, in this way, he doesn't have to have credit. He could just borrow the money against the value of this policy, against the value. And also, with this is what's good about it is you don't decide to pay it back. You don't got to pay it back.
True.
You just took the money. If you took 50, 100 G's off your stuff, you don't got to pay it back. It's yours.
Right.
All it does is just it takes from the death benefit. So all the company's going to do, because of course they're always going to make. They're going to make money. They're going to be like, okay, you borrowed this from the policy, but we ain't going to give you that value. So they deduct that value from your face policy. So if you borrow 100, you got 200,000, you got 100 left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the good thing with these policy too is has multiple benefits. It has multiple functions. You can also have this investment policy, but let's say you get terminally ill, you get chronically ill, you get some kind of illness. It pays you 95% of the value of the policy. They'll give you that money up front for you to use for what you need.
Right.
As long as the doctor writes them up, and we always come up with something. Everybody gets sick.
So what's the difference with that and the HSA, the what do you call it, the health savings account?
A health savings account is for long-term illnesses. Okay. Like if you get cancer and stuff like that. I think the HSA is more of the medical side of it. It'll pay for your nurse. It'll give you different type of benefits because every product has different benefits.
Right.
So I like the fact of the IULs. I like the IULs. I like the IULs because my payment grows. I got a life benefit. if I get sick or something, and the death benefit that goes to my family, because I don't want them to struggle. I want them to be able to, if they don't want to pay for my stuff that I got there, well, they sell it all.
Right.
You know, or if they want to keep my cars and keep my properties and keep the stuff that I've already created, I know my kids can't afford it.
Right.
I know they can't. They're in their 30s, and I know my kids can't afford what I created from my business world. Right. You know, but I'm covered with my life benefit and my death benefit. I'm covered enough where if I pass, they're going to all get paid. They're all going to get 33%. I got 3 of them. They all get 33, 33, 33.
It's fair.
And they'll be able to, you know, pay off the stuff and do what they need to do with the money. So as IULs to me is after doing the research, after reading, after I went back on the S&P 500 on the index, because that's how they invest your money, compounded daily. And I can show you here, and I can show anybody that wants to see it, that the interest rates haven't dropped. And I printed that report 5 years back, even going back to COVID. During COVID, they were giving out 28% compounded daily interest against anybody's money.
Right.
You know, that's invested. So that's, to me, that's because you get multiple functions out of that policy, at that type of policy. You get your investment. Like I said, you get your if you're alive, if you get sick in any shape or way, if you get into an accident, they pay you.
My only question is, and I don't know if I asked you this before, but like, let's say Joe investing in the S&P 500, whether it's just Roth IRA, traditional, whether it's, going through this type of investment. They have all the top 500 companies within that.
The difference, I think, with them is with the IRAs and the 401ks is that if the market drops, your money drops.
Right.
Your money don't drop.
It don't drop, right?
No, it's guaranteed. We give you a guarantee that your money doesn't drop. It freezes.
Right.
And even if the market is super slow, we'll still give you 2%.
Okay.
Like, let's say it's on a negative. Let's say the market's on a negative. You're not going to be at a negative.
Okay, so you just be at
you'll be at the very slowest pace.
Okay.
But that's worst case scenario. They always give you worst case scenario, but it hasn't been worst case scenario even before COVID with this plan. You know, with this investment, because it's financial investment. This investment hasn't lost. They've actually made a lot of money. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that prior to, I had to get into it. I didn't know that. And it's all who you know and who you meet. I'm gonna be real honest. I've met a lot of good white people, Caucasians and stuff, that they're always in the investment world. They're always in business. Minorities, I can say I have my family maybe like 2%, 3% that are business. That are business minded, that done everything else. We're all workers. Everybody else works a 9 to 5. They have no knowledge and no know-how of any financial literacy. Besides going to a regular job and say, "Well, I got a 401k."
Right.
Besides that,
they don't have no.
They don't know anything else.
It's kind of like with my family. Me and my mom had this conversation probably like 3-4 years ago. Well, she said, because on my mom's side, even my dad's side too, you could say that they believe in having 9 to 5 and a business, but they didn't, they knew about real estate, but they didn't know about stocks and bonds. They didn't know about life insurance. They didn't know about all this return, other than the 401k and the pension.
Yeah, that's the normal stuff we know.
Yeah, they didn't know that you could have multiple stuff coming in, like you could put money away in different baskets and have money coming your way, in different directions. So she was basically saying that, my generation and the generation after, we kind of got it more because it's easier, back in the day.
We got the internet.
Yeah, back in the day, even before the internet, you had to go to the post office if you wanted to invest in the stock or something like that. So now it's like you got all this opportunity to open up all this, wide range to open up all these accounts.
I would always tell everybody, even the youth, I tell all my children's friends that they're all young. They're all between my children's friends are all from the ages of 24 to 32.
Right.
And I tell them, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't feel like putting my money into that. I think it's just a waste. It's a waste to you. You feel like it's a waste right now because you're youth. You're young, you're energetic, you're healthy, you got the drive to go out to party. You prefer to spend $95 doing your nails, but you won't put $50 in an account that it's gonna compound your interest.
Right.
And if you happen to get sick, it'll pay you. You know, so it's like we got to get out of that mentality. You know, and it's the youth. If you start, the youth is something, you guys. Anybody that's under 45,
Right.
the sky's the limit still for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can invest in stuff. It's still reasonable.
Right.
I got investments accounts now. I've opened up new IULs and stuff because of my age. They're running me almost $300 a month just to get the same thing that you would get for $60, $70.
Right.
You know, because I'm up there. I'm more of a liability. You guys are not. Even though things happen to anybody at any age, but it's like you get more opportunity. You don't realize it, but y'all get way more opportunity.
Right.
The younger you are.
Right.
You know, even for the babies. I got my grandson now with an IUL. You know,
So I could open up one for my kids. Right.
you can open up for your kids, and guess what? You're the policy owner. Check it out. They got you. The IUL wasn't named because it's the cheapest investment.
Right.
But if you want to take out the loans, you're the policy owner. You take out the loans.
Okay.
And then when they get older, when you feel like, Johnny, they're about, when you feel like they're mature enough to handle their stuff, you be like, you can hand it over to them. Listen, I'm gonna make you the policy owner. You can transfer it over to them. But if you don't want to, keep it.
Yeah.
You keep it and manage it. You manage the money, and then you give them the money out for college out of their policy. Because by that time, they're little right now. By the time they're graduating high school, your policy's matured.
Yeah.
You got money stacked up. You can buy a car with that money. You can go pay for tuition. You can give them a down payment for a house. It all depends what you want to do. Your daddy, you're the policy owner.
Right.
You can give it to them. You can transfer it over to them. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I got a policy right now, my son and stuff like that. I'm the owner of the policy because I know that his rates are the best. You know what I'm saying? His rates are the best. And I know that policy is going to mature, and I'm going to be able to I'm going to need 15, 20, 30 G's later down the line. I'm going to have to pull it out because that's the kind of money that, you play with.
Right. That's because right now, I think I'm mentioning to you that I got a 529 with them right now, the education.
Yeah, the school fund.
Yeah, so I remember like growing up, I was here, Florida prepaid, and me and my wife had a conversation about this, and I was telling her like with the 529, I'd rather do that because it's an investment
for their school, for their education.
But also like they could like invest in like little like stocks and stuff like that within that
product.
The product, so. It's kind of like by the time they 18 years old,
to have money,
and then like I'm like, whether like for example, my daughter, she's so smart right now. Maybe she want to take like what they call it.
That's probably a lawyer.
Yeah,
you got standing there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Maybe she want to be like, Dad, I want to take a year off. So like, hey, this the money. You can use some of that money to travel around the world for a year. Or maybe she said, I don't want to touch that money. I want to let it grow. Maybe I want to go to law school and use some of that money. But you're
giving her the opportunity. That's the whole thing. You're giving her that opportunity now, and right now it's not. And I know it's difficult because I know it's out. It's difficult for everybody to kick out sometimes $50 a month to pay for something. But you got to put it in your mind and you got to put it in your life. It's just like your car insurance. You got to have it here. Everybody, it's mandatory. I don't care if you got PIP or full coverage.
Right.
You got to have insurance.
Yeah.
But at least this insurance pays you back. At least your 529 is going to give you back something later on. Because it grows. These investments are good because they grow. And it's right now, like you're doing it while they're young. It's the perfect time because it's cheap. It's inexpensive. I'm not going to say it's cheap, but it's inexpensive. It's affordable.
Right.
And just keep making those payments, and before you know it, you'll have money to take out because I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to have money to loan my kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting older. And things are getting more expensive.
Right.
Life is expensive, period.
Right.
So I want them to be able to flex and take out money in loans. And, if my son wants to open up, eventually, he wants to open up his own business,
right.
Because he's an exceptional painter. He likes to paint. He works for the airport. He paints like JetBlue, the planes. He paints the planes and their parts and stuff. But he used to paint cars. He used to paint Rolls Royces and Bentleys, and he's got, his whole portfolio. And I've always encouraged him to open up your own business. You're good at what you do. You get that glass finish.
Right.
A lot of people don't know how to do that. They'll take your paint and they'll paint your car and look all dingy. Not what they do, but they don't have no shine. It just doesn't have that.
Right.
Oh wow, it looks nice. He gives you that oh wow factor. I said you got a talent.
Right.
Open up your own business with your talent. But he's like, nah, he likes to be more like the Mr. 9 to 5. I want to go work for somebody. So he's just, but I'm not gonna knock it, because as long as you work at it, he's consistent, he's gonna get somewhere. Even if he's, he won't ever get to the $1 million point. He'll probably never see that.
Right.
But he'll get, he'll make a good paycheck, $150K, $200K, $250. He'll get up there.
If he making that, then he could be a millionaire in 10 years.
Yeah. No, because with more money comes more expenses.
True.
The more money we make, the more money we end up spending.
Why is that, especially in our communities? That's the question I want to ask.
Minorities, I'm gonna tell you why I think why we do it, because I think I did it like that from not having.
True.
From growing up not having, from growing up and dad telling you, we got money to pay the bills and we got money to eat, but I ain't got the money to, buy you this or take you there or do nothing for you. And I think it comes from that culture, from that part of our, because as soon as I started making money, I think as soon as I started making it, I was spending it. I was buying the kids nicer stuff and, taking them to Disney World and splurging on here and taking them out. Then I, get to the point where you start making so much money that you don't even cook at home no more. Every day is out to eat.
True.
That's money. Instead of taking my money and being more wise to buying the groceries, and stacking. I wasn't really stacking back then. I was spending. The more I made, the more I spent.
Right. And for me, I think I came to a conclusion that there's nothing wrong with spending on something. Like, for me, I love cars, I love trucks, I love tech. But my thing is, like, I came to a conclusion. I'm like, if I'm gonna spend $500 on a new camera, let me put at least $50 or $100, in an investment account, into something where I'm like, all right, I spent this, but at least I got some money that's gonna make that money back for me within a year or two or whatever or whatnot.
You at your young age, you're becoming financially literate.
Right.
At a young age. That's why you're saying let me just take a little bit of money. And that's what I told my kids. You don't gotta spend $100 a month. Put $50. Yeah. Do a $50 investment. And watch that grow.
And I think even with some of the younger kids, like even like younger than me, I'm talking about like teenagers, 20, 21, they always felt like to invest you gotta have like $200,000 and stuff like that. You can start right now. You can start with $1.
Yeah, yeah. That's the whole thing. And like I said, our community, we get discouraged easily.
Right.
That's our thing, because we don't have no one telling us.
Right.
I didn't have no one telling me back then.
Right.
What I know today.
Right.
What I know now. What I learned recently in the last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
I learned more my financial literacy now. I just knew how to make money. Now I can make money.
Right.
I'm a money maker.
Right.
But I'm a money maker, money spender.
Right. Nothing wrong with that. So I got a couple more questions before we leave the show and everything. The first question is, where you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now?
And 10 years from now, I see myself, I think, totally retired.
Like fully retired?
Like fully, 100% retired with all my, between my insurance investments and my annuity investments and stuff. I see myself fully retired.
Okay.
Fully retired by then, yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm focused on. That's where I'm pushing it. I'm taking my money and I'm putting it into my, my financial payments. And I'm making those small payments. And I got like 4 or 5 different products and stuff that I'm investing in. Right. Which at the end of the day, I know it's going to take me to that. Right. And then it's going to give me that return, you know, where even if this one just gives me $400, $500 a month, that's $400 or $500 I didn't have. Right. If this one gives me $800, that's $800 I didn't have. Right. You know, so it's all gonna add up.
Quick question before the last question. Do you like angel invest? Do you like angel invest, like invest in like up and coming companies? Do you believe in that? Or do you?
It does. I do believe in it, but you got to be real wise.
True.
In investing. You know, you gotta look at the whole picture. You know, what's behind it. You know, what the product is.
Right.
What their goals is. You got to look and see if the company has, you know, the person or the company that you're getting involved in investing in, what their goals is, what's the set of mind, you know, what's the drive, which direction they're going.
Right.
You know, you got to look at that too, because it's just not, you can invest in a shell company and lose it all.
True.
In a dummy company, you know, and just lose it all.
True.
So, yeah, I believe in that.
Okay, and then the last question is, I had this. It's a lot of questions, but it's one more specific question. What type of advice would you give, no matter what age, whether 18, 60 years old, 75? What would be the number one advice you would give someone that's just starting to invest into, like, you know, building money, like building wealth for them and for their family?
I would say look at your budget, right? Look at what you got. Don't spend money frivolously. Like, don't be spending money out. Try to collect as much money. Do a budget, and try to invest something. Start.
Right.
My thing is start. Start, and the younger you start, the better it is.
Right.
You know, for yourself, because it's at long term. Everything grows.
Right.
Everything grows. So I would advise somebody, you know, start. Whether you're 16, because you can buy your own policy. The law states you can buy your own IULs and stuff. Your investments, you can start at the age of 16. That's what they allow you to.
Oh, I didn't
For
know
yourself. Oh yeah, for yourself. Your parents don't gotta invest in you. You can do it for yourself, and all the way to 60. You know, because life is long. You know, life takes a lot of turns, and it's a long process. So, you know, look, I'm 50 plus. I don't want to say my years, 50 plus. I'm 50.
That's the new term now.
Yeah, I'm 50 plus today, and I started my business ventures at 24.
Okay.
You know, I'm 50 plus. I still haven't stopped my business ventures. It just took a different turn. I'm in a different term. And I like this one here because I'm helping, I'm educating, and I know that you're going to have a future.
Right.
Whoever gets involved with me and whoever does, you know, if they ask me for advice, whatever you're going to do, you're going to have a future.
Right.
You know, you're not going to sit with like, oh, you know, that lady Maria, you know, she was talking nonsense. No, I'm successful at everything I touch.
Right.
Because I put my all into it. I get educated with what I do. You know, every business that I've sold successfully. I sold them. I got tired of them, so I put them for sale. You know, the same with this. I'll sell. If I got to sell my name,
Right.
you know, I'll sell my name. You take over.
Right.
You know, I'll sell it. Everything's for sale. Isn't that true?
Yeah, because you got this thing where, you know, you got people that want to be like the Rockefellers, of course, like the.
But see, certain type of monies take ancestral longevity.
Right.
Okay. I don't dream of that type of success because I gotta be realistic.
True.
To where I come from. I came from zero.
True.
Okay. My father, my mother came from absolutely nothing. It took me to have that drive and that mindset and that goal and that want and that hunger.
Right.
I was hungry for life. I was hungry to have $1 in my pocket. You know, I was hungry to be able to wear, you know, a chain around my neck, you know, and have some, you know, I was hungry for that.
Right.
But it took a lot of self-education. And it took not self-education, it took me reading the right people at the right time.
True.
To tell me what I didn't know. So I can ask that question, how do I do this?
Right.
Who do I go talk to?
Right.
You know, who to go to the city?
Right.
You know, I know all the commissioners here in Broward County from doing business for so many years. I know the city managers to the cities. I've met them all. I know the chief of police. I know all of them because I was in the business world.
Right.
But someone had to introduce me to them. Someone had to say, hey, look, you know, I want to meet them. You know, I want to meet them because I want to open up a business here. I want to do something. I want to, You know, I want to do something for myself. I'm hungry. You know, but then you know, along the lines when you meet all those people, you got to make promises too.
True.
I promise that, you know, I ain't gonna do nothing crazy. I promise I'm gonna drug deal. I promise, you know. So it comes with all that, you know. But it's that networking, it's that format. But it always takes someone to show you, someone to open a door, someone to guide you, someone to give you something. And that's what I'm here for right now, because I've been there, done that. You know, I've done a lot of business ventures, and I started young, and I did them successfully. I was successful, you know, and I'm not bragging, but you know, I'm successful. I want to be, and I want to stay in that success world, but I want to also share it.
True.
I don't want to take it with me. I don't want to take it with me to the next life. This is not going to work over there. It works here.
True.
In this one, you know?
Right.
So if someone needs something, if they want to learn how to open up a business, that they want to learn, it depends what city you want to open it up. All that plays. You want to be in Plantation, you want to be in Hollywood, you want to be in Miami, you want to be in Palm Beach. You know, I'm Tri-County. Past one Palm Beach, don't ask me for nothing. Okay. Just like it? All right. Okay. I will. Thank you.
John is in the car, that's why.
Okay, está bien, dale.
All right, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah. So he's, you know, my cousin's here. He's an entrepreneur. He's been an entrepreneur since he started at 19.
Wow. So
he started washing cars and cleaning house windows. Would you believe that?
That's crazy.
He started just with the dream. Dream. No college degrees here. Nobody, you know, ain't nobody got no doctorate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a fucking AA and associate, you know.
Yeah.
What you do with that? Associate in art. What do you do? You know,
Right.
what do you do with that? Yeah,
Right.
you know. But we had visions, we had dreams, and we had drives. You know, and look at him. 2024, he's still here. We're in his office right now, sitting here. You know, he has his setup, and he's grown. You know, does pressure washing, he does houses, he does driveways, he lays the bricks. He's grown as he's gotten older. You know,
Right.
you learn on your way, you learn in your path.
Right.
You know, so I give him, you know, kudos to him. I'm proud of him that he stayed, you know, in the business world. I didn't have the energy. I hit 45 and I was like, I was done. I was like 45, I was done. I was like, that's it for me. I can't do this no more. You know, I got to go to the normal world because it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, it do.
It takes a lot of energy. Like you said, like you running your own business. It's you got to be on top of it, communicate with people, get people together. It's like putting a business together. You got to put all the parts together, and parts are people. And to get everybody in the same room, you know, to work it out, to make a balance, to make a team, you know, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. That's, you know, even with podcasting, when I transitioned from being the DJ to podcasting, you know, it was still a lot. You know, I'm by myself. You know, I'm networking with people by myself, trying to get people on the show, booking people on the show. Now, like, you know, I'm getting to a point where I need more, you know, a couple more people, you know, try to build a team because I want to, like, travel out more. You know, I'd rather go, if you in Atlanta and stuff, I'd rather do it in person, or, you know, just name the cities and stuff like that. But you're right, like, you know, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, you got to learn how to maintain relationships. That's what
It's all about, maintaining and networking. And like I said, you're young. And your listeners are young, and your listeners got all the opportunity in the world. They just don't realize it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're sitting there broke, you're like, damn, I can't do a damn thing. No, you'd be surprised at the things you can do.
Yeah.
You know, if you put your mind to it. You know, like I said, my cousin here, he started with his business washing cars and windows.
Right.
And then he started going to the people's houses washing windows, and then realized, yo, they need this clean. They need that picked up. You know, he started getting dirty. I remember I used to see this kid, black from head to toe, clothes dirty, and he was like, I got to keep going. You know, I got to keep going. I got a dream. I got a goal. And it worked. He kept going because it's easy to give up.
Yeah, it is.
It's so easy to wake up one day and say, oh, fuck this. I'm not going out today. I'm not doing this no more. I'm not calling nobody. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't got to drive no more. Nah, nigga, drink a cup of coffee, drink 2 espressos, drink a Red Bull shot if you got to, and hit it. You know, go. Because you're not gonna find nothing at home.
That's true.
No one's gonna come. The opportunity's not gonna be like. Remember, I told you the story. I was in Las Olas. I met this dude that sold me my first liquor license. I was over here in, I think it was Miami, when I found out about my club that I opened up.
True.
Having kinds of conversations with people, just being out there talking with them. I didn't even have the money back then to be in those places I was at. I was broke. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I was broke. I had $5-10 in my pocket. But I was gonna fake the funk and sit around and look around and see who I found, and they found me. Just putting yourself out there.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And I'm willing to, talk to whoever and give them some advice and, lead them. Because every situation is different.
True.
Everybody doesn't come from the same path, because your path might be different from his path. He might have more money than you have. True. You might be starting at zero, but you got excellent credit.
Right.
He might have money. He got no credit.
Right.
Every path is different. So every way that you go to open up a business, it's going to be different.
Very
no
different.
two ways are going to be the same.
Right.
But there are different avenues to get to where you want to go. But they're never going to be. So you can't compare. I can't compare my life to my cousin's life.
Right.
To my people's life. But the way he started his business, my business didn't start like that.
Right.
I got luckier. I got someone to tell me, hey, you could do this. You can buy this, and you don't need no money, and also as long as you finance it yourself. And I'm like, okay, and that's the way it went. So I've ended up financing, and once I signed my name to something, if I had to go get 2-3 jobs to pay for it, I wouldn't got 2-3 jobs to pay for it. But that's what keeps you alive in this game. A lot of hard work. A lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work. And on that note, I thank you for coming on the show. You got any shout outs? Anybody you want to shout out before?
I want to shout out to the youth out there. I want them to wake up and start investing in yourself. Right. Now, don't wait for mom, dad, cousin, and don't be with the what ifs, I shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Right.
Don't do that. Because it's so easy to do that. It's so easy to say, damn, if I would have known. I'm 50 years old now. I could have had an account, with $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. That compounded interest. So I want to give a shout out to everybody in the youth out there. Reach out to me, call me, hit me up. Can I give you my phone number?
Your information, everything.
My phone number to reach me out is 954-812-4300. Send me a text. Send me a text, your name. I'll call you back. Let me know, write me something. Let me know what you want, what you're interested in. If it's business or if it's a financial investments or if you want to know something, learn something. And even if you want to get into this game that I'm in, because everything is different. It's a different product, different game, different world. If you want to get into the financial world, let me know. I can open the doors for you. I got it easy. I could give you the answers to all the tests. You're gonna pass it. Yeah. You're gonna get into that next life step. It's whatever you want to do.
Right.
The doors are open and the possibilities are endless.
You already know you're gonna be my mentor, so he gonna be bothering you all the time. So on that note, y'all, this has been your boy
DJ Anonymous.
DJ Anonymous with another episode of Sports Biz Music with my girl Maria, and we out. Peace.